The Mandarin Oriental's penthouse ballroom shimmered with Manhattan's elite as I nursed a club soda in the corner, watching my family's annual display of success and superiority unfold. My intentionally basic suit, actually a custom Kiton that cost more than most annual salaries, helped maintain the struggling nobody image they'd assigned me. Another exciting year of being ordinary, Sarah? My brother Thomas smirked, brandishing his new Patek Philippe. Though I suppose someone has to be the family disappointment. If he only knew that his successful hedge fund was actually a minor investment in my company, Phoenix Enterprises. While they mocked my online business, I'd built a $14 billion tech and investment empire in complete secrecy. My phone buzzed discreetly. Forbes 500 list final. Phoenix Enterprises confirmed at number 3. Your profile as CEO goes live at 8:30 p.m. I glanced at the ornate clock. 7:45 p.m. In 45 minutes, my family would discover that their nobody daughter had just become the youngest self-made CEO on the Fortune 500. Sarah, my sister Victoria's voice cut through the crowd. At least try to network. Though I suppose with your, what do you call it? Online shop. The irony was exquisite. Her luxury brand consulting firm was actually owned by one of my shell companies. Every brilliant strategy she bragged about came from my team. Just keeping to myself, I replied softly, watching her preen in her designer dress, bought with profits from my company. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, I could see my father holding court at the main table, probably sharing another story about how his real children had carried on the Morrison legacy while his youngest had found her level in the digital world. Ms. Morrison, my chief operations officer approached, disguised as a waiter. Everything is in position. The Forbes announcement is prepared and the stock market alerts are queued. I nodded, checking my watch again. 8:15 p.m. Time for the real celebration to begin. The ballroom sparkled with old money and new ambition. My father had insisted on having business news displayed on massive screens throughout his 65th birthday party, a decision that would soon prove deliciously ironic. There's my quiet daughter. My mother's voice carried just enough to draw attention. Sarah, darling, couldn't you have made more of an effort tonight? The CEO of Goldman Sachs is here. I'm comfortable as I am, mother, I replied, taking my assigned spot at the edge of family photos, the same position I'd occupied since refusing to join the family's investment firm. 8:25 p.m. The champagne was flowing as the MC called for attention. Ladies and gentlemen, as requested by our host, please direct your attention to the screens for the annual Forbes 500 announcement. My father raised his glass, expecting to see his investment firm's modest ranking. Instead, the breaking news banner flashed across every screen. Breaking. Phoenix Enterprises ranks number 3 on Fortune 500. Mysterious revealed as Sarah Morrison. Wall Street stunned by tech prodigy's $14 billion empire. The champagne glass froze halfway to my father's lips as his eyes locked onto the screens. In that moment, a decade of dismissal and condescension crystallized into dawning horror. I stepped forward, finally allowing my carefully constructed mask of mediocrity to fall. Dad, I said into the sudden silence, I believe we need to discuss what it means to be a nobody. The ballroom fell into stunned silence as the screens continued to flash with headlines. Sarah Morrison, from nobody to Fortune 500 titan. Phoenix Enterprises' mysterious founder steps into spotlight. Tech empire reveals decade of stealth acquisitions. This is impossible, Thomas stammered, his Patek Philippe suddenly feeling like a child's toy. Phoenix Enterprises is the company that's been revolutionizing AI and quantum computing. They're the ones who bought out your hedge fund's trading platform last year? I finished smoothly. Yes, that was me. Every investment victory you bragged about at family dinners? Powered by my technology. Those algorithms you dismissed as amateur coding when I tried to show you? They now process 40% of global financial transactions. My security team, all disguised as hotel staff, moved into strategic positions around the room. The waiters and bartenders transformed into executive protection, their earpieces now visible. For those just joining this revelation, I spoke into the microphone, my voice carrying the authority of someone who commanded billions. I'm Sarah Morrison, founder and CEO of Phoenix Enterprises. You might know us from our quantum computing breakthroughs, our AI systems that run most of Wall Street, or perhaps from the fact that we just became the third largest company in the world. Victoria's consulting clients turned ghostly pale, suddenly realizing they'd been unknowingly working with my subsidiaries while mocking my little online business at charity galas. The code you wrote at home. My father's voice cracked. All those times you were playing on your laptop. We're actually managing global operations, I confirmed. Every time you mocked my work as insignificant, I was building the most sophisticated tech empire in history. Amazing what a nobody can accomplish when everyone underestimates them. The screens updated with more breaking news. Phoenix Enterprises reveals global reach. $14 billion empire built in secret. Wall Street scrambles as tech's greatest mystery is solved. Sarah Morrison, the billionaire they called a nobody. My mother clutched her pearls, swaying slightly. But your small apartment in Brooklyn is actually the top 3 floors of a building I own, I explained, enjoying the cascade of realizations crossing their faces. Every time you pitted my modest lifestyle, I was acquiring another company. Those nights you thought I was wasting time online? I was revolutionizing global technology. Thomas pushed forward, his usual arrogance replaced by desperate calculation. The new trading system, the breakthrough platform, is mine, I finished. Every innovation you praised in board meetings came from my team. Though I should thank you, your constant condescension made it incredibly easy to operate unnoticed. My father found his voice again, though it trembled with barely contained rage. The business world will never accept. They already have, I cut him off, nodding to my C, who had been posing as a sommelier. She distributed tablets showing Phoenix's complete market dominance. You see, Dad, while you were busy teaching Thomas and Victoria how to run real businesses, I was learning something far more valuable: how to build an empire from the ground up. Every time you called me a nobody, I was acquiring another piece of the future. Every time you dismissed my ideas as worthless, I was revolutionizing entire industries. The reporters who had come to cover a simple birthday party were now scrambling for positions, their cameras trained on the family drama unfolding before them. But why now? A voice called from the crowd. Why reveal everything at your father's birthday? I smiled, remembering every birthday where I'd been introduced as the daughter who hadn't found her way yet. Because sometimes, I replied, the best gift is the truth. And the truth is, while you were all busy being somebody, this nobody was building the future. The Goldman Sachs CEO stepped forward, recognition dawning on his face. The quantum computing breakthrough last month. That was you? Along with the AI trading platform your firm just licensed for $2 billion, I confirmed. Though I believe you were discussing that deal with my online shop over coffee last week, when you thought I was just another nobody trying to pitch you a startup. The screens flashed new headlines. Phoenix Enterprises reveals stealth acquisitions of major tech firms. Wall Street giants discover they've been working for nobody all along. Sarah Morrison's tech empire spans 47 countries. Thomas grabbed his phone, frantically checking his hedge fund's trading platform. The Phoenix Protocol, our entire system, runs on my technology, I finished. Every trade, every analysis, every success you've claimed in the past 5 years, all powered by the nobody you mocked at Sunday dinners. How does it feel, brother, knowing your little sister's amateur code made you millions? Victoria's designer clutch slipped from her fingers. The luxury brand analytics system is one of my smaller projects, I nodded. Those market predictions you've been selling to your clients? Generated by my AI. The same AI you called childish when I tried to explain machine learning at last year's Christmas party. The ballroom buzzed with urgent whispers as Manhattan's elite realized just how many of their businesses relied on Phoenix Enterprises technology. The nobody they dismissed at countless social events actually controlled the systems that powered their success. My father gripped the podium, his knuckles white. You've been lying to us all this time. No, Dad, I corrected. I've been showing you exactly what you wanted to see, a nobody. You were so convinced of my mediocrity that you never bothered to look closer. Every time you introduced me as your struggling daughter, I was closing another billion-dollar deal. Every time you seated me far from the important guests, I was probably buying their companies. The screens displayed real-time updates of Phoenix Enterprises' stock price soaring as the news spread. My net worth had increased by $2 billion just during this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, Vice CEO announced, removing his waiter's disguise. Ms. Morrison has another announcement to make. Should we proceed with the Morgan Stanley news? I checked my watch. 8:45 p.m. Perfect timing. After all, what's a birthday party without multiple surprises? The color drained from Thomas's face. Morgan Stanley? But they're our biggest client. We're your biggest client, I corrected, nodding to the screens. I believe you'll find they have new ownership as of now. But why? My father struggled to form the question, his birthday celebration forgotten. Why reveal everything now? I picked up the basic promotional pen I'd been using all evening. Actually a custom Montblanc that cost more than Thomas's car. Because timing is everything in business, isn't it, Dad? That's what you always taught us. Well, that and know your place. Though I suppose I finally do know my place. At the top of the Fortune 500 while you're not even in the top 100. The screens flashed with more updates. Phoenix Enterprises announces acquisition of Morgan Stanley. Sarah Morrison's net worth hits $28 billion. Tech genius emerges from shadows to claim Wall Street crown. Victoria, desperately trying to salvage something, stepped forward. Sarah, about all those things we said. Save it for your client meeting next week. I cut her off. Though I should warn you, Phoenix Enterprises is revoking your access to our analytics platforms. Let's see how brilliant your market predictions are without my amateur AI backing them up. My COO distributed leather portfolios to each family member. Inside you'll find documentation of every success you've achieved using Phoenix's technology. I've been particularly detailed about the correlation between your mockery and my strategic acquisitions. You can't just cut us off, Thomas protested weakly. Actually, I can and I will, I replied, producing another document. Phoenix Enterprises is terminating all relationships with Morrison Financial effective immediately. Your access to our platforms ends at midnight. Consider it my birthday gift to Dad, showing him exactly how much his real business relied on his nobody daughter. Through the ballroom windows, the Manhattan skyline glittered with buildings I secretly owned. Every major tech hub, every financial center, every prestigious address they'd bragged about working in, all part of my real estate portfolio. You know what's fascinating? I addressed the room, setting down my cheap pen. Every time you called me a nobody, I bought another piece of your world. Every time you dismissed me as insignificant, I was learning exactly how to control your industries. Every time you looked down on the daughter with the little online shop, you were actually dealing with your future boss. My mother attempted one last intervention. Darling, surely we can discuss this as a family. Oh, now you want to include me? I smiled, gesturing to my corner spot. Funny how that works when you discover your disappointment controls the technology that powers global finance. Standing at the podium, I surveyed the room. Let me be clear, Phoenix Enterprises will be implementing immediate changes. First, our pricing, premium rates for all Morrison family businesses. Second, our access, restricted to companies that demonstrate actual innovation, not just family connections. My security team began escorting my family from their seats of honor. As they stood stunned and diminished, I called out, "Oh, and Dad? Happy birthday. Don't worry about the champagne, I own the vineyard anyway." The headlines would run for months, but nothing could match the satisfaction of that moment, when the daughter they called a nobody revealed herself as the one controlling their destiny. Walking toward my real office in Phoenix headquarters, I paused for one final remark. By the way, that worthless code you mocked? It just processed $2 trillion in trades during this conversation. Not bad for a nobody. The screens lit up with another breaking news alert. Phoenix Enterprises launches revolutionary quantum banking platform. Global markets reshape as Morrison reveals next innovation. Wall Street giants scramble to adapt to new Phoenix standards. As I turned to leave the ballroom, a familiar voice cut through the chaos. "Ms. Morrison?" It was Mrs. Chin, my high school computer science teacher. Now one of Phoenix's senior AI architects, though my family never knew. Shall I reveal the education initiative now? I smiled, remembering all those afternoons she'd let me code in her classroom while my family assumed I was just avoiding their success. Perfect timing. Put it on the screens. The displays flickered with new headlines. Phoenix Enterprises announces $10 billion education fund. Sarah Morrison, every nobody deserves a chance to be somebody. Tech giant to build free coding academies worldwide. Thomas choked on his champagne. You're giving away money to nobodies? No, I corrected. I'm investing in future leaders who, like me, have been underestimated. Because here's what I learned being a nobody in this family. Sometimes the person you dismiss today is signing your paycheck tomorrow. My father made one last attempt to regain control. The Morrison name will be remembered. I cut him off, as the family too blind to see the empire being built right in front of them. Though I suppose that's what happens when you're so busy being somebody that you can't recognize greatness in a nobody. Walking out, I paused at the door. Oh, and Victoria? That pathetic online shop you mocked last Christmas? It was Amazon. Well, 30% of it anyway. I bought it while you were explaining to everyone how retail works. The silence that followed me out was broken only by the sound of my mother's pearls hitting the floor as she fainted. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just proving them wrong. It's showing them that a nobody who was underestimated can become the somebody who owns their world. As my driver held open the door to my Rolls-Royce, the one I'd kept hidden while driving a Toyota to family events, I couldn't help but smile. Tomorrow's headlines would be interesting, but tonight's lesson was priceless. Never underestimate a nobody with a dream and a laptop.